we found that Export Development Canada, EDC, acted quickly to provide $49.1 billion in loans to help almost 900 small businesses across Canada. However, the program was not managed with due regard for value for money. We found significant weaknesses in EDC's contract management. It relied on a single vendor, Accenture, to deliver the program. The non-competitive contracts awarded to Accenture represented 92% of the total value of $342 million in contracts related to the CEBA program. EDC gave too much control to Accenture over key aspects of contracts such as the scope of work and pricing. EDC failed to exercise basic controls in contract management, such as monitoring whether amounts paid aligned with the work performed. Since ongoing program delivery uses Accenture's proprietary IT systems, EDC will have to rely on these non-competitive contracts until at least 2028. While 91% of loans were issued to eligible businesses, we estimated that about $3.5 billion went to ineligible recipients. I am concerned that EDC only partially agreed with our recommendation that it should carry out additional work to identify all ineligible recipients and recover the amounts involved. Unlike other COVID-19 programs, CEBA is a loan program with payments that will be ongoing for several years, while action on defaulted loans is just beginning. Value for money will be further compromised without better monitoring and improved plans to recover defaulted loans. Thank you, merci. I'm now ready to answer questions.
In your report on CEBA, you said that the finance department should have exercised more oversight. They disagree with that, and they're saying that the EDC was the one that was responsible to administer CEBA. Do you agree with that? What's your response to begin with?
So we issued a recommendation to the Department of Finance that it needed to fill in the policy gaps that are there. This is a unique program because a Crown corporation, which is supposed to be at arm's length from the government, was asked to deliver a program that typically the public service would deliver. With that, I would have expected that the policy lead, which is Department of Finance, would have provided better oversight, especially when Export Development Canada asked for additional oversight over program and the program expenditures. In the end, there's this accountability void, whether it be the Department of Finance or Global Affairs or EDC. And when you have an accountability void, there's people who aren't keeping eyes on the dollars anymore. There is bad management decisions that go unchallenged, and ultimately no spending limit put on a big program.
And I also want to ask, I'm wondering, like, based on your experience, I know that last year or earlier this year, you looked into ArriveCan, for example. I'm wondering if, based on your role here, are you seeing a pattern of mismanagement, or is it really justifiable that the COVID pressure resulted in a series of situations like the CEBA here, for example?
Well, I think regardless of the situation, and I've said that before, that the pandemic wasn't a reason to throw rules out the window when we were talking about a previous audit report over here. I would say it made sense at the beginning that a COVID program saw a quick rollout with limited prepayment controls. And then I would have expected the government to adjust along the way, especially a program that is as long as a loan program. This wasn't a temporary subsidy. This wasn't a permanent subsidy, it was a temporary subsidy. Every business knew they were eventually going to have to repay this back. And the government knew that they were either going to have to deal with loan repayments or work on the collection of defaulted loans. So I would have expected better life cycle planning. And that is one of our recommendations, that wasn't done. Again, a policy gap that I would expect Department of Finance should be filling in. But a Crown is supposed to be at arm's length. And so giving them the freedom to run the program still means that the government should have kept their eye on the spending around delivering that program.